The only race John Paris Jr. ever really concerned himself with during his long hockey coaching career was the one for first place in the standings. Yet John has broken a color barrier that has one more step to take. In 1994, he became the first professional hockey head coach of African Canadian or African American descent when he took over bench duties of the Atlanta Knights of the International Hockey League. "I'm a coach," he said after being named. "I can't change my heritage, of which I'm very proud. I don't look at my color, don't think about it. But I guess there is little question I am breaking a barrier." Early in John Jr.'s playing career, his father, John Sr., spoke to him about racism in sport. Windsor's Garth Vaughn, who knew John Jr. as a young athlete, reflects.
One of the nicest stories that I know about the two of them is when John Jr. was playing baseball in another town in the valley, and he got booed. And it was the first time that ever happened because in Windsor, the sun rose and set on him as far as people were concerned. So when he got home, he said to his dad, "They booed me today. Why did they do that?" And John Sr. said, "It's because you're so good. And the better you get, the more they're going to boo you. So you just keep on getting better." And he did. And later, of course, he came to realize what that was all about. And he said about that sort of thing, if you're black, you've got to be twice as good as your competitors if you're going to make it. And that was the thing that really motivated him.
And he continued to break barriers, later becoming the coach of the Macon Whoopies of the East Coast Hockey League, a position he left 5 years ago when a back operation sidelined him for the better part of a year. As a renowned motivational speaker and specialist in sport nutrition and psychology, and a respected hockey analyst and commentator, John has lectured across the U.S., Canada, and Europe. He is so diversified in his thinking and opinions that he is often called upon to speak on substance abuse and family therapy. Who would have thought that was possible for a young man from Curry's Corner, born into a very athletic family, whose goal was to play hockey in the National Hockey League? But John was small, 5 feet 5 inches tall, 135 pounds, and soon realized, even after playing Major Junior and American League hockey and having a tryout with the Philadelphia Flyers, that his pursuit of excellence would be to help others achieve their on-ice goals. He coached winning teams in the Quebec minor and Major Junior leagues before becoming the head coach of Tampa Bay's farm team in Atlanta. In 1994, he led them to the IHL Turner Cup and a grand street parade in Atlanta, where only the Braves had been celebrated before. He received a commendation from Atlanta City Council for his leadership. We'll take a step back for a moment to 1991 and observe the respect John had from his players. It's October 22nd, the Granby Bisons of the QMJHL, coming off a 34-38-8 season, and the third best goals against average among all 42 Canadian Hockey League teams. Well, John is fired as his Bisons start the next year with a woeful 8-4-2 record. That is .667 percentage hockey, by the way. He was let go. The Bison players were set to boycott the next game, but the league threatened a $10,000 fine, which the team's owner said would come from the players' pockets. So they played reluctantly and lost 6-5, and a couple of players, including the captain, sat out the third period out of respect for their deposed coach. "I wore the uniform the first 2 periods out of respect to my teammates," said Mark Rogers. "For the final 20 minutes, I did not play because I had promised John Paris that if he was fired, I would go on strike. If I had not done that, I would be sick for the rest of my days." John, as he has always done in a remarkable 58 years of life, was calm and reasonable through it all. He said, "When I left, I told the players to play. Some of them decided to make individual decisions. I just wanted them to keep winning. They worked hard to get where they were." He then said, "You've got to look at the positives in everything. It's too easy to throw stones and be negative. That's the loser's way out, and I'm no loser."
Well, he still has hopes of getting a position as an NHL coach, and it might well be. He's now the head coach in hockey at the IMG Academy for Sports in Bradenton, Florida, and he's lecturing all over the world on motivation and nutrition and coaching. So he's still in there and working hard at developing his skills. And he just may be recognized at that level one day.
And that is John Paris, a man who takes his profession seriously, a man whose coaching philosophy is, if you have a good player on your hockey team, he'd better be an excellent hockey player after he leaves his coach's hands. He can't just be good again. If so, there's something the matter. Ladies and gentlemen, a philosopher, a motivator, a teacher, a leader, and maybe someday, if that is still a goal for this proud man, the first black head coach in the National Hockey League, our newest inductee to the Sport Hall of Fame, John Paris, Jr. John, am I right in saying you came from San Diego to be here tonight?
Yes, you are right.
Beautiful, beautiful. To present let's do the plaque first. Floyd Gates, the president of AML Communications, and the pin presenter is John Jr.'s father, who had such a great influence on his son's life, John Buster Paris. He saw that microphone coming and was gone. You want to step forward a bit, John, and we'll just have a quick chat. I've had the chance to spend a lot of time in Windsor with Garth and your dad. You want to talk about what that man right there has meant to you and the community?
My dad or Garth?
Let's do your dad.
My dad, well, I love him dearly. He's probably the greatest man I've ever met. He's primarily responsible for where I am today, and his advice has always been precious. You look at him and you see his age sitting there, but he's still a young man at about 20 at this time. And I can tell you that my dad, we were in Atlanta on a national TV program, and they wanted to have him step up and speak. And I learned enormous respect for him that evening. He said, no, this is my son's evening. This is not mine.
Beautiful. I know you don't put a lot of personal stock really in breaking that color barrier, but when you think about it, I mean, it's an amazing accomplishment. And I'm wondering, with perspective, what does it mean to you?
Well, it's like you said, I'm a coach by choice and black by nature. I consider it it's just something that I do. I never, hockey and coaching is just something that I do. I've always wanted to do that. It's something that I spoke with Murray Mo Smith many years ago, probably the best coach I've ever had. That's what I wanted to do, just coach. And every player that's played for me, they've always been the best player I've had.
What about why this sport, and why did it grab you and hold on to you for your entire life, do you think?
I really do not know. All I know is from my fondest memories, earliest memories are hockey. My dad, I can remember putting the skates on me, having cold feet, coming home crying in the evening, my hands frozen at the pond. My friends all played it, the Reddens, the Boyds, my brothers, Percy, Mike, Cecil. They all played the game, and basically for me it was like food. It was like putting sugar on, whether it be in your soft drink to make it a little sweeter, or on porridge, whatever it may be to stay warm. It just was part of my life from day one, and it was never forced upon me.
Well, it's been a great part. We're happy to celebrate it with you tonight. Congratulations.
I thank you very much.
John Paris, Jr., ladies and gentlemen.